Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. We're excited about this announcement. My name is Mike Mon. I'm an executive here at Smith Entertainment Group and the project principal overseeing the development of the downtown project. Excited to welcome everybody who's joining us here today, both in person and online via the live feed. Today, we're excited to celebrate a major announcement about the future of downtown Salt Lake, specifically the Sports, Entertainment, Culture, and Convention District. Before we jump into today's agenda, I'd just like to recognize several people who are here with us today. I'll start with our elected officials, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, members of the Utah State Legislature, Dan McKay, John Hawkins, and Bridger Bolander. We're so grateful for the leadership of these individuals and for our amazing partnership with Salt Lake City, Salt Lake County, and leadership of the state of Utah. Live Nation, we're grateful to be joined by Jordan Zachary, Chief Strategy Officer for Live Nation, Rick Mueller, Senior Vice President of Business Development, and Jason Farrell, President of Live Nation Utah. I also want to acknowledge SEG executives Jim Olson, Chris Armstrong, and John Larson, Utah Jazz CEO Danny Ainge, as well as Utah Mammoth General Manager Bill Armstrong and Head Coach Andre Tourney. On the dais today, we'll have Smith Entertainment Group Chairman and CEO Ryan Smith, SEG co-founder Ashley Smith, and Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino. So let's invite all of them to the stage. We will start with remarks from Ashley Smith, after which we'll hear from Ryan and then Michael. And then we'll all stand back up here and we'll go through some questions that have been pre-submitted. But with that, Ashley, let's turn it over to you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Before I ever stepped into the world of sports, my passion was in the arts, and really performance and music and theater shaped the way I see the world. And I've always believed that the arts is such a great connector of people, and similarly, sports is that as well. And so this is such a cool opportunity to team with a world leader, Live Nation, and bring this energy to downtown. And I mean, sports inspire us and music inspires us. And it's just cool to bring that together and provide more space for creativity and connection. So it's a cool day.
Yeah, thanks, babe. Michael, first of all, thanks for being here. What a treat. I think that when Ash and I took over and started Smith Entertainment Group with our partners, the idea was hopefully to bring some cool things to Utah, and in the form of wins and championships, but also everything else that we could lift around. And those were the conversations at our dinner table. And to kind of watch a couple of these pages unfold, last year we were sitting here with the announcement of the NHL. That was a year ago in this building, and the impact of the NHL in Utah, but more specifically in downtown Salt Lake, is something that every day we see. There's not one business owner that I've talked to where they haven't seen what that additional 40 nights a year, hopefully a lot more in the future, but has done to our community downtown. And it's hard to see until it's actually out on the surface or out on the field or out on the ice when you see that many people come in. I think we all shorted the impact. Today, we're at another one of those moments where I'm sure we're shorting the impact of what this new venue is going to do. So we're excited to announce that we're partnering with Live Nation to create a new 6,000-seat indoor venue right in the heart of downtown Salt Lake. And we couldn't be more excited. Michael and Live Nation, what they've been able to do in the business that they've grown, and the artists, I mean, it's 40,000 artists?
Shows.
40,000 shows that they impact around the world, and really not to be flying over Salt Lake anymore and actually stopping and bringing that here. This will be the only in-purpose indoor Live Nation venue of its kind in the greater Salt Lake area. Where at the Delta Center we have 12,000 to 16,000 for concerts. There'll be 6,000 seats, as I said. We'll end up with 80 to 100 concerts a year that'll be coming in, plus another 100 events on top of that this venue can serve. You think about during the Olympics, you think about moments where people can come together and congregate. It's pretty powerful. Is we also think about what that looks like on a game night. With that many nights being occupied, it's going to be very often where you've got multiple events going on here in downtown that's driving more people, more families, and hopefully more joy to this area in Utah. And so, first of all, thank you for believing in this. I know you have a lot of options and places where to go, and for accepting that phone call from us, because the second we finished and started this Delta Center renovation, we set out and said, this is the #1 target that we want in downtown Salt Lake to activate our community. And, truly, whether you don't go to a game, whether you don't go to a convention, or you don't go to even a concert or event, this new transformation of downtown, there will be something for you. And that's really important to us. And I think we saw that during All-Star, that no matter who you were, there was something that you could have. And so with that, appreciate it, Michael.
Thank you. Appreciate being here and sharing the moment. I didn't know it was 100 degrees in Utah when I left LA this morning. I thought LA was hot. But no, we're thrilled to be here. We've got a business where live is on fire on a global basis. Every 14-year-old to 94-year-old wants to go cherish a moment with some artist they're looking to share that night with. Development of venues has been a new kind of place for us over the last 5 years. Venues have kind of become the new movie theater. Every time someone's building a development, they want to have a live venue. A lot of the sports owners are doing that kind of the development areas where they're building the arena plus hotel and retail and kind of building around that. This is really unique. One, it's fully Ryan. When Ryan reached out and we met, he's got magic in him that I just saw that we wanted to be part of. I did not wake up that morning saying, I'm going to build a venue in Salt Lake City. 100% Ryan came there, showed me his vision on what this is going to be. What we really love doing is, it's very rare that you can build a 6,000-seat venue downtown. Traditionally what we're doing, the developer is building the arena, the football in the middle of nowhere. He's building an apartment and hotels into some development, and we put a venue there. And that's a great model for us. Battery Park in Atlanta, a lot of these developments, but very seldom, other than MGM that we're doing with Fenway, where you're actually downtown and you can be part of that revitalization. So his vision to do this in the downtown of Salt Lake was just a very rare opportunity that we were able to be part of. So we're thrilled to be part of it. We think we've seen it happen at MGM. You do about 200 shows a year. 6,000 is a new sweet spot in music. Lots of artists can play arenas. Some can play 200 seats, but there's a big middle ground where they can't quite sell out the arena at 15,000, so they want to find that venue of 5,000, 6,000. So it opens up a whole new avenue of artists, from the James Taylor, the early Gracie Abrams that played at the MGM, to the K-pop artists, to the family. So wide, diverse business. Every Post Malone eventually starts out playing those venues. So you want to be part of that. We wouldn't have that today. We would fly over Salt Lake, as you would call it. Wouldn't be a market we would play. So this can open up great opportunity. We're thrilled to be part of it, but most importantly, we're thrilled being in business with these two. They're rare air, the energy they bring, and the way they kind of approached us to be part of this. We couldn't turn it down. So thrilled to be here. I think I like the old logo better, but I joked when I laughed. I love your hockey logo. I'm a Canadian at heart, so I follow hockey. I can't believe that you got a hockey team here. That's why this man can pull off magic. I followed it in Phoenix, and I assumed it was going somewhere, but the way you were able to announce that a year ago with this development and now our venue, we're thrilled to be a small part of it.
Okay, thank you, Ashley, Ryan, and Michael. We'll go through some questions that, again, have been pre-submitted because we have some joining via live feed. So this comes from Sportico. Although mixed-use districts are all the rage when it comes to sports and real estate, are there particular ones that inform the vision for downtown Salt Lake City?
Yeah, I think, so first of all, we don't view this as a mixed use. I mean, I understand that's the districts, those that you were talking about. That would be more of if we took everything down south, and that would be more of we view this as like the core of our city. And so, with the new Paseo, where you're going to be able to walk from City Creek and, Nordstrom's all the way down through here, it's about convention, and Ginny, and they've done a great job, and they're going to turn that convention center into the state-of-the-art convention center. It's about culture and the arts. It's about sports, and it's about entertainment. And so no matter who you are, there's actually something for you that's coming in there. And so, but as far as like the cities, I think what's gone on down at LA Live, because it's actually in the city and the transformation it's done to your city down there, and then obviously this one on the right here with Fenway, where it's actually literally hooked on to the ballpark and becomes this beacon. I think if you look at how many net new folks that we're going to be bringing into downtown, I mean, it's probably close to 1 million people a year if this thing's fully activated the way we all want to. And that's big. That's a lot. That's where it's hard to kind of look at it. So that's how I see it personally. I don't know, Michael, if you...
No, you nailed it. It's rare. Usually we're looking at these developments, these mixed use. When you're building 6,000, it's a little riskier if you're kind of in a suburb or middle of nowhere, because you're debating what part of the city will drive to that show. Will you get the full city? It makes it a little harder. That's why we end up maybe doing 3,000, 4,000. But when you can be in the center of a downtown where you know the nucleus will be, it just opens up rare real estate. So other than Fenway, and probably we've got 40 of these on the docket that we are exploring, they're all more mixed use outside of the downtown. So this is a rare opportunity.
Thank you. And just to clarify, these are all pictures of Live Nation venues, not renderings of ours. Is this a music-only venue? What are some of the smaller sports-focused or other related events you envision using this new venue for?
Yeah, it'll be, this size gives you great opportunity. So you're going to do probably 130, 40 concerts, pure music from all varying degrees, country to pop, and then you got a lot of family entertainment stuff. So the other 75, 80 shows are going to be more family orientated, choirs, Christmas, all that kind of family orientated programming that'll fill the docket.
I think also the community, if you actually think about, we've operated in tech in the convention center, and we always had this problem when we wanted to put on a concert at night, where we tried doing it in the convention center, and that was really hard because we had to bring a stage and do all that in, and then we'd come over to the Delta Center and we couldn't fill it up if it was open. And the idea to have that connection, but I also think for community events, like, this will be able to kind of accommodate, if you actually think about this venue, it's more of like a ballroom style floor where we can meet. And I'm excited for that to be a place where, we can gather.
Awesome. These next two are from the Salt Lake Tribune. I'm going to take them just because it's easier. What is the timeline of the project? When will construction begin and end? We anticipate that demolition of this area, the mid-block, which is located between Delta Center and the Convention Center, that demolition will likely begin in Q1 of 2027. And then construction will begin, obviously, after all of that. We'll have a phased plan, but we will coordinate closely with the county regarding their demolition and construction of the rest of the Delta Center. Next question from the Tribune: where exactly will it be built? How far from Delta Center? The plans are currently under development. When we're ready to release renderings and site plan, we will, but at this stage, we know it will be on the mid-block, on the 6.5 acres there in between Delta Center and the Convention Center, but the exact location is yet to be completely finalized. Next question from Front Office Sports: how has the experience of other sports and entertainment destinations such as the Battery and Coca-Cola Roxy in Atlanta, House of Blues in Fenway in Boston informed this particular endeavor? I know we already talked about them in general, but how have those informed what we're doing here?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think they've shown a little bit of like what can happen, right or wrong, where they're located, the impact of sports and entertainment on a community. If you think about a mall and what a Nordstrom does to a mall, the amount, and we can just look here, I mean, Delta Center is going to be going hopefully 200 nights a year with hopefully 200 nights or 200 events there, depending on how this goes. That type of impact, the draw to downtown is something I believe we've needed. We truly have needed down here, and you know, this should be a number one place for business for people who want to set up shop. They should come. If someone is moving here, they should give Salt Lake a look because of proximity to things. If a business is moving here, this should be something where the employee experience around the community, who maybe someone's new and working there, they can come down and there's a lot going on. And typically that's how we hope to do this. And we have a special place here in Utah. We're extremely close to the mountains. It's beautiful. I think it's a wellness hub in a world where we need a lot of wellness. And I think this is only going to add to that.
And I would just say on the music side, you know, we've seen the investment pay off. You know, music was always kind of the stepchild to the sports business. We played in other venues. You've only seen music explode in the last 5-10 years, where live is so important to all consumers. It still ranks 1 or 2 in their kind of got to do this year memory making machine. By the way, Utah outranks the national average on intent to go to live shows. So very, very important to a live consumer here in Utah. They want it, but you got to make the investment. There hasn't been it's been 20 years since Utah has invested in a venue. So artists know that. Artists like playing at the MGM new venue. They understand the difference, just like the basketball team or hockey team likes playing in the new venue. So the investment here, we know the demand's here. We just haven't had that infrastructure to date. So put the venue here, and you're going to make a lot of people happy.
I'm just curious. I'm going to ask you a question, Michael. When you think about like who's come through, I know you talked about Gracie Abrams and like just kind of the evolution of an artist. Because I think that's super interesting. Is like we look as Gracie Abrams or Tate McRae or these folks who are now coming into here and selling this out when only a year ago. Yeah. Is that the progression?
Yeah, 100%. They I mean, listen, stars they're instant now because they're global. They go from, you know, the computer to TikTok to a venue, so it's much faster than the old days. You're not usually playing the clubs, but the 6,000 is a sweet spot. We don't, you know, we have a lot of 1,000-seat, 500-seat venues. We're not building many of those. That's not where they're happening. But that entry level now of kind of I started to get my own following on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. I have enough scale that I can play a venue, but I haven't broken through to the arena level yet. But I'm not a club band. So this is why this 5,000-6,000 sweet spot we're all chasing across the country, across the globe is important. So yes, that you kind of get artists on both sides. You get maybe the James Taylor on the other side that says, you know, I want a more intimate show. So or Stings of the world where they want to go play in a more intimate setting than an arena because they've done it all. Or the rising star that says, I'm not quite there yet. The Gracie Abrams, the country stars, Jordan, I forget the name we talked about this morning from K-pop, Cat's Eye, you know, the latest young artist, young band that can sell 6,000 because of their following. So it's a real nice sweet spot right now for developing artists and mature artists.
Okay. This next question from Fox 13, will there be any conflict in seating events here between SeatGeek and Ticketmaster?
No, we haven't really got into it, but obviously this is a SeatGeek house, and I'm sure that's going to be a Ticketmaster house. And, you know, I think we're way more focused on bringing really cool things to downtown Salt Lake than what ticketing platform we're using. And, you know, I'm the one that approached him. So it's going to be whatever he wants.
He's a good salesman.
Awesome. Next question from Fox 13, which I'll take. Is this being privately funded or are there public funds being used? You'll be familiar, there was a $900 million deal as part of SEG and a tax package passed by Salt Lake City Council and approved by the mayor. $600 million of that is anticipated to go toward the arena, another $300 million toward the district more generally, including, if you think of these things like the plaza, the Grand Paseo that we've talked about, connecting all of the east and west sides of downtown, SEG has committed $3 billion to the downtown, and both Live Nation and SEG will be committing substantial funds to this investment as part of this music and entertainment venue. One more from Fox 13. What do you say to people who wonder whether this plan for downtown will be affordable for everybody?
Yeah, I think I addressed it a little bit. If you think about All-Star when we were here, I remember growing up as a kid, and the All-Star game came here, and I didn't have the resources to go into any of the events, but we were able to really, stand up the convention center and create Jam Fest, and that ended up being something that I felt like I went to All-Star. So this year, a couple years ago when the All-Star game came, we repeated that, and the NBA hadn't done that in 10 years. And we had 60,000 people, mostly Utahns, going through and participating in that. And so the activation of this area is going to be a very similar thing. It's like our job is to create something for everyone. You just mentioned the infrastructure. The infrastructure hopefully is set up where families want to come and have a picnic and come downtown. And that alone, and we've got to match that up. This is the first anchor that sits between two other anchors, but we will build around this. And so this is why it was so important for us to bring that, and then, how we activate on the outside, how we activate games, what happens on the outside of not only Delta Center, but these venues during concerts or games is really something that's really neat. And I think it's our job to go figure out how to kind of bring a new audience, or maybe people who aren't able to do that in.
Awesome. From Building Salt Lake, who will own the venue? SEG, Live Nation, or both?
That's a good question. I mean, we're investing to build it, but it will be a joint venture that we are working on together. That's why we're both it's actually a joint venture on how we do this. But what will be is that Live Nation will be the operator of this venue, and really controlling the experience, which is probably what's way more important than who the landlord is.
I thought I was going to answer that one. You guys were leaving me hanging there. Thank you. Just kidding. One more from Building Salt Lake. Will this be the first project to be constructed as part of the entertainment district? If not, what other projects could be built before this venue? As I noted earlier, we're in the early stages now of identifying an architect for the mid-block. We'll be putting together our phasing plan. We know that this will be a central component. As Ryan and Ashley and Michael noted earlier, this is the third major brand being brought down to downtown. I mean, the Delta brand being brought back to the Delta Center, NHL being brought here, now Live Nation as this third major brand. We'll work with the community and figure out exactly the staging and timeline. But Ryan, I might just add, and Michael, what does that mean, do you think, to us now that we've had three major brands, and what will be the domino effect that you anticipate coming as a result?
Yeah, I think you've seen this playbook a little bit more. What is it as you come down here and see, and kind of why you're here? What are your thoughts? And then I'll answer.
No, I'll let you lead. I don't.
Okay. So I think it's part of what we hopefully said we were going to do, which was we need outside folks to invest and want to be a part of our community, to have these types of things. And I think Delta coming back was not just a name on the building; it was really a plant and a commitment to our community. I think the NHL is a massive brand that you look at all over, along with the NBA, that is everywhere in this community now. And I think this is, equally in its own way, another massive brand where artists trust, and by a byproduct of that, we're going to get artists saying, okay, Live Nation's got me, I'm going into Utah. And that's phenomenal, because with that comes a lot more that I don't think any of us have really imagined yet.
I think that's that. Let me just say then, a huge thank you to all of you for being here today. Huge thank you to Mayor Mendenhall, to the Salt Lake City Council, to Mayor Wilson, Salt Lake County Council, to our state and legislative leaders for having this vision and working with SEG to fundamentally reimagine downtown Salt Lake City and make this a place for everybody. So thank you all for joining us. We'll clear this stage and take a few pictures with Ryan, Ashley, and Michael and run from there. But thank you so much for joining us today.